when Cody said he was eating dinner, I was like, I don't know if that's a good excuse.
That is not a good excuse. I am skipping
like dinner. No, dude, you gotta call it.
You gotta make sacrifices, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta get on Instagram. I didn't know he had all these clips. You guys got some crazy conspiracies lined up?
Dude, I got two. I was gonna dive in, but now I'm getting a little scared.
Yeah. That's why I asked in the chat. I was like, how deep we going into this? Like, are we trying to get canceled or what? So I went mild. I went mild.
Yeah, he's gonna like actually have to put some like nothing said here shall be used against us in the court of law.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have my company represented here on this
episode. This is a bad episode.
Never turn your shirt inside out.
Yeah.
There he is, live from the golf course.
There he is.
On the air. Nice.
That's actually a good idea. I feel like a small putting green would look good back there.
Big country club guy.
Cody, you want me to fucking get the top button going and get a little cholo going? Here we go again, dude.
Can't hear him.
Cody, when I can hear you talk, I'll raise my right hand.
Now I can't hear you guys. What a joke this is.
No way.
Just do the show without me.
Go back to dinner, dude.
Welcome back to Stogies with Bogey. He's got Stogies, but we're not going to have Bogey the whole time.
Welcome to Stogies without Bogey.
It doesn't make any sense, guys. I'm supposed to be tech savvy. This is my thing. I'm supposed to be good at this. I can hear you.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm late and I don't have it figured out. What a joke. Never going to be able to sell this thing for a profit. But let me get this back here. Let me get that.
DeWalt's never going to sponsor us at this time. I'm gonna have to buy freaking Ryobi stuff.
Love Bauer, dude. Right here, baby.
Harbor Freight specials.
Yeah, get you some Pittsburgh wrenches too.
I got those too, baby.
All right, fellas, we're right at 30 minutes late, so you're welcome about that. We're here for episode number 6. Everyone's here but Camp. He's moving his bike.
Yeah, I'll put it in the spare room for this one. I'll move it out of the way.
It's episode 1 of the conspiracy series, and we will be going over. We'll be dipping our toe in. I heard you guys talking before I joined in. We'll be dipping our toe in the water here, not to get anyone fired or canceled on the first one. We don't want to make Mom cry when she listens. We want to make sure my wife stays with me. We got a couple people that probably locked in and subscribed for the Bible episode, and they're going to be like, what the hell is going on now? But we're outside, so my neighbors can hear me, which is good for them. And that's whatever. They can call the cops, I guess. They almost came last time. You'll probably hear another airplane today. But yeah, not at a country club, just at the old backyard, man. To start things off, I'm going to go on a little bit of a ad-lib monologue. I didn't prepare anything like I wanted to, because I've been working like a good little boy at work. But I recently watched the Tim Dillon interview that CNN did, and I think the interviewer was named Elle. She was a like our age type of interviewer, it seemed like. CNN, as we know, is a left-wing media organization, and they had an agenda in that interview that she and they got exposed for how they were trying to approach it about the podcast world. They're trying to pose, and they're trying to get Tim Dillon to say, yes, Joe Rogan is a woke right wing show. All the comedies and comedians lean right, and they're the new establishment of the right media, and they're the reasons for all the bad in the world and all that stuff. And Tim Dillon, for as much as he's a little bit outrageous with his takes, which I can aspire to be, honest but outrageous, he had some really good Class A patience. I don't know if any of you guys watched it, but Class A patience, and basically explained to someone who did not have perspective or a worldview of the world he lives in and the world that they were claiming to think they know. So it was a very good job. He almost like Uncle Timder, like hey, here's kind of how it works. And I'm sure the other side saw it as toxic mansplaining and all that stuff. But he did a very good job of keeping the conversation mostly light and respecting him and his craft and his friends that are in the world. But basically saying, hey, you let Trump and JD Vance and all these other guys on your podcast and they won the election. Do you think you had anything to do with that because you were playing pretend journalism without actually asking hard questions, and you made them look like normal people and all this stuff? So when people ask me why the hell are you doing recorded FaceTimes with your friends, it's basically that. It's what we mentioned before of let's have deep conversations, not even deep, but just have long, back and forth conversations, showing different perspectives, and really just conversing, because everything that society has been doing since I've become aware in the world is that we're getting further and further apart. We get in our small circles. I know I brought that up with KJ last time. Like how big should my circle be? How much should I be affecting? Jimmy's got a family. His circle's probably pretty small when it comes down to what am I doing every day to be effective, right? With me, I don't have a kid yet. I'm worried about my wife. I'm worried about our circle, what we're doing, but also I got projects all across the state that I have to worry about. I'm dealing with politicians all across the state. Cam's dealing with people that are going to go off and serve the country likely and affect the world that way. Ryan's, laying pipe. Good for you. And, but still, you're dealing with people every day, and you have the opportunity for different interactions with so many different people. And, the tradesmen are what makes the world go round. So we're all pretty effective guys. Our scope is different, and all of our priorities end up in the same place for under our own roof and stuff. But, so I was just happy to see that interview go well. And really just kind of motivate me to keep having these things. And hope, I like you guys as much as I do, but got to get some new faces on here. It's nice to have KJ, and just keep the revolving door going of just perspective. So, but yeah, happy you guys are here. I'm happy we get to dive into some conspiracies. So what we're going to do here is you guys are going to name a state in the Union, the United States Union. If it's closest to the state I have in my brain, like geographically, you get to go first and share. So you guys are going to share your conspiracies. We're going to dive it, pick them apart. You're going to have to sell me on them. I'll share mine last or whenever I feel like it, I guess. It's my show. But we'll go from there. We'll go that route.
Can I guess first?
Bring it on.
Hawaii.
That's a terrible guess. That's such a bad. It was a gamble. Don't get me wrong. It was a gamble.
It's farthest goes last. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say Alaska.
Hawaii. I can't be doing the first conspiracy.
Any other guesses? You got Alaska, Jimmy? You want to actually give a good guess, or?
I'm gonna go with Nebraska.
Nebraska? Yeah, it was North Dakota, so that's on you. I do want to, before we get going, I do want to say that if you're talking about flat Earth, you can go ahead and log off. You can just log right off. That's the one I don't have time for. I'm not wasting.
That's not even a conspiracy.
I'm not wasting time on.
Those are just facts.
We'll be right back. Where was I? So Jimmy's going to go first here, and I'm excited for this one. But I will say that there have been many conspiracies lately that have turned out to be true, and that lately means this last century and this century and recent. So I'm excited for these. I think they're going to come true. If they're not already true, we're going to go with our old granddad as usual. We got the big glass tonight because we're outside. It's hot. Might be a long one. And for Jonathan,
Friday.
It is Friday. No more school this week. We got a big dog here. I don't know where it's from. Don't really care, but I'm excited to smoke one. It's a Churchill size. We'll light one up here ceremoniously. You guys can light one up in spirit.
The first one in a while.
It has been. Listen to that thing go, dude. So, Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and give us your conspiracy?
Oh man! All right. So I think where I'm going to start us is the green environment conspiracy. So there's a probably the last 20 to 30 years. It's a big bad to be green, to make sure that your energy consumption is not harmful to the environment and to limit that. So, what I've kind of seen, and I think they're now kind of, a lot of people are pushing back on that, and you've got your TV shows now with, like Landman, that are discussing kind of what wind energy, the carbon footprint is likely never even catching up to what it did to make that thing, what it is to maintain and even make it. So I think kind of where I'm going is, once you take a look at some of the companies that are funding, or the investment companies that are funding the green environment conspiracy, you're going into the BlackRocks. You're getting into um, some of the other giants like that, which not only control the 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 environment friendly trend, but they also still hold a large stake in fossil fuels. So they can play both sides. They can manipulate the market to force people to rebrand their company to try to become carbon neutral, and things like that. So it's a big rebranding of control, what it seems like from what I've seen. So I think it's the same ultra wealthy elites that profit from fossil fuels that control the green industry. So it's, I mean, for people that don't know that, I mean, it's kind of eye opening that, you think you're running with one crowd, but it's the same crowd, and I'm definitely not against green energy. I support all energy, but I don't think we should be funneled into one. So
I'll drink to that.
yeah. So, it's almost become more of a marketing campaign and not a moral cause. We've got away from actually improving the environment or maintaining it, and just, hey, if your business isn't green by 2030, we're going to cancel you.
Well, yeah. Do you think that stems from the like just the historical good business by the big companies that we always call out? Because now you have, I mean, you have other conspiracies that you draw on, but it's the same tactic, right? It's own the food companies that give them cancer, own the cancer treatments, right? Own the disease maker, and then own the treatment. You think that's just kind of the same business as usual
Yeah, I
tactic they
mean,
take? They're just using it.
yeah, they're making these climate policies, um, and they're using them as a global system of control, rather, and that's disguised as environmental protection. And
Yeah.
they're just controlling the market, and they're controlling of who can play in the sand. Um, you know, like I said, if you're not, you're big investment firms like BlackRock, they own a large stake in your company, and if you're not green in their eyes, then they're gonna pull out and tank your stock.
It seems like a way to regulate, or like you throw up so much regulation that you kind of create your own little monopoly. You can just box a lot of people out.
Yeah.
When ultimately it's like kind of like a virtue signal.
Yeah, it's like virtue signaling for marketing purposes, and then it's just, yeah, like you're saying, you're having a monopoly of choice. It's the freedom of choice illusion that, oh, I can get green energy, or I can get vehicles, and then they made the business decision to control both sides of it, and then push whatever agenda they want to make their bottom line the best, or make their stockholders happy.
Yeah, like and it's like a virtue. It's such a virtue signal too, because on one hand they'll talk all this environmental stuff, and then on the next it's like we support countries, and like we as a country like make bombs and produce bombs and like let off a bomb. Yet I'm getting pressed on like literally straw, like a plastic or paper straw. It's like it's such a joke. It's like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, the other side of the token is how they're using the fear to push population control. So, the we're running out of resources, where the earth is overpopulated, there's not enough room for us all to use these resources. It's just another one of the ticks for us to stop procreating.
I never understood that stop population, because more people, more money, right? I mean, that's what they did. When the big move was to get women in the workforce. I'm not saying that was a bad thing, but I'm saying it doubled your tax base. Now your percentage of it lowered wages all across the board, because now you have double the workers in the workforce, and the IRS always wins, right? Or the consumer companies always win because everyone's spending money. So I just never understood the depopulation thing of why they want to do that.
Not
Less people.
necessarily depopulation in America, but depopulation globally, because not everybody's paying.
Yeah, I think they probably look at it as like just a waste of resources. I think it's a bill. Didn't Bill Gates say something about like useless eaters, essentially?
Yeah, he's like the number one proponent on depopulation.
Yeah. He had a speech where he said, we want to lower population through vaccines. And then they came out later and they were like, oh, he didn't mean what he said. But it's on camera. I saw the video.
Yeah,
It's great.
which doesn't make sense, because vaccines were sold under the guise of saving lives, but then now I think the point he was trying to not make was sterilization of the population, or make it harder for reproduction to happen.
You got to remember, they always say like carbon reduction, right? You're carbon too. So the thing is, they're trying to reduce carbon, but we're the carbon.
Yeah.
So.
And
Yeah.
it's to me, the biggest conspiracy for me on this thing is like I don't understand why are they like, why are you not allowed to look at the bad side of the token with wind energy and solar energy? Like, if you're like, oh, solar panels require rare earth metals under brutal conditions. Oh, that's all right. Wind turbines create waste that's hard to recycle. Oh, that doesn't matter. It's still bad for the environment. Like, it's not completely a heaven sent thing. That's good for the environment. I mean, all energy. I think we should harvest wind energy and harvest solar energy, but don't frame it as a perfect for the environment solution, which it's not.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I opened up with the Tim Dillon thing, because it was, hey, you guys are interviewing people that we don't like, and we can't control the narrative, and it's going, you guys are having conversations and talking about stuff that we don't want to happen, but then we're going to go we're going to bring on our own people and fluff them up, right? It's the podcast world trying to do an individualistic approach, or a deconstructed approach to biased journaling, because of course Joe Rogan's going to talk about whatever he wants to talk about on his show, and then now it's up to us, the people, to watch it and make our own determination based on the conversation we just watched, not get something force fed down our throats, right? So it's the reason we've gotten to this point, and why we're talking about this, Jim, is that they've been able to push that narrative in the early 2000s, because there was no discussions offline about it, as far as widespread discussion. We were watching the news, we were watching these people, they're telling us what they wanted us to hear. We got all the marketing they wanted us to get. And that, you hear something long enough, you kind of get immune to it, and then it becomes, that's all right, yeah, we're good with that. Oh, it's you gotta rape the land and put a bunch of solar panels in, or you have to do all this, like you turn your head to the stuff because you just don't hear about it. Podcast world's hearing about it now. So what do you think the next step is? Because there's murmurs about AOC making a run for the White House. What happens there? She was all about the Green New Deal and pushing that crazy agenda.
Yeah,
Newman from California apparently wants to run too.
Yeah, but he'll do whatever he's told, which is the same reason. But like, AOC has that craziness about her that, like, Gavin Newsom's not going to rile up the crowd. Like, he's just going to be the guy in there. He's not the Barack Obama. He's not the emotional leader that the Democrats basically require now. You have to have, and I guess so do the Republicans. We require emotional responses now to politicians, which that's a cycle that needs to simmer.
I think a lot of that they're all. Or go ahead.
Sorry, I think Newsom's got the Democratic ticket for sure. Or what are they saying? No, it's Buttigieg.
I'd rather have a woman.
I think I just don't think they can keep doing that. Like they're running the same ideology, same tactics. It's like everyone's kind of seeing through it.
Yeah, I've been watching the past couple of Flagrant episodes with Andrew Schultz, where he had Buttigieg and he had Bernie Sanders on, and that's like his whole point is, what is the Democratic Party doing to help themselves? Because they're not helping themselves at all from a tactical standpoint. Like you're saying, they're one trick pony, and that trick's dead, or the pony's dead. So they have to make an adjustment somehow. But I don't know how they can do that without cutting off their crazy base of the wokeness of it.
Yeah, they kind of created something that seems out of control now.
Yeah, which is that's why they're mad the podcast world is grabbing a bunch of guys like our demographics and our thought processes away from that party, and they're like, oh, well, I can't associate myself with that anymore. It's like what Bill Maher always says. The Democratic Party left him. RFK said the same thing. Tulsi Gabbard said the same thing.
That guy's a loser, dude. Bill Maher.
He is, but he calls out the craziness that is the train that's leaving the political station of the woke left. So,
but dude, but the thing that makes like he's part of that. He can't just all of a sudden act like he wasn't a leading.
Oh yeah,
dude who for years was like, it's like, hey, you kind of had this ideology that turns out to be batshit crazy. It's like that's because starting from like their base ideas. It's like, yeah, no wonder. That's just a logical outcome of his ideology.
Yeah, no, he was doing. I mean, their claim is that guys like me want to get clicks, so we're going to talk about some crazy stuff or let the audience kind of control what we talk about. But at the end of the day, shouldn't the audience control what we talk about? I mean, shouldn't the audience control how we vote? Shouldn't the audience control what kind of policy we make? So I'm not saying we need to make it a whole idiocracy movie and the plants crave Brondo because it's got electrolytes in it, but there's got to be some balance. There's some integrity of Joe Rogan saying, hey, or the guys that have the platform, right? Because they keep zoning on the guys that have the platform, not guys like me. I'm not going to change my mom's opinion on the Green New Deal or nothing like that, which hers is the same opinion as mine, so I don't have to change it. But yeah, did you look up any other? Is there anything down the pipeline we should be looking out for, Jim? Are you saying anything like that?
No, I mean I think the thing about it is the kind of conclusion on that whole conspiracy trail is that I think there are ways that we should help improve the environment, obviously, but the solutions that we have are corrupted because it's shaped by the same people that are the main causers of the problem. So I think once people start opening their eyes to the that it's not a perfect solution, that there is not a perfect solution, to like not worry about a perfect solution, just improve your daily life. It doesn't have to be forced down our throats. But people are getting fed continuous lies that wind turbines are not harmful at all to the environment. They're the savior of the climate. So
yeah, I'll leak a little bit of my conspiracy now, but it's the ancient civilization that was more advanced than we were that got wiped out by a cataclysm. But that they had the heightened technology that was either grabbing electricity or power from the ether or using ionized mercury or nuclear type energy, to where, I mean, if you're looking at some type of unlimited power source or clean energy power source, it's the Iron Man, methodology of something that doesn't have emissions and something that's very small footprint. So the way it should be going is that the Nikola Tesla side of it, of let's try to find out what we can do with harnessing, electrical power from the world around us. That's where I think it should go. That's where the science nerd in me wants it to go. So I just don't see any of that being talked about, because as soon as you mention anything nuclear or anything explosive like that, they start talking about weapons of mass destruction and it being used for the wrong, which is true, but
Yeah.
I can use my car for violence and make a Molotov cocktail if I wanted to. So all that fuel can be used in a bad way. Maybe not on a nuclear scale, but
So what's the story there? What's the conspiracy? Is it a civilization that actually existed?
yeah, the way. So I went down all the little rabbit holes. Like, you ever heard of Tartaria?
No.
Like the Tartaria conspiracy. The Tartary region historically was presumed to be like the Mongol area over there in like the Russia and like early civilization, and people overlap it. It's a very loose. It's a very like they say America was Tartaria or whatever, or advanced because we came over here and all the whole pilgrimage and all that stuff was made up. The Native American stuff was made up, so it's all kind of loose. I tie it together just like the Great Flood. It kind of ties in with the Great Flood because of the restart, right? We know the story of Adam and Eve and the beginning from there, and then Noah's flood, and a lot of other civilizations recognize flood. So mine's more of a loose conspiracy that there is a forgotten history because there was something major that happened, like a pole shift or large scale earthquakes and things like that. That some did survive and carry on the human civilization, but it set us back. And that there's artifacts and places in the Grand Canyon that are off limits, and there's speculation that there's ancient ruins there. There's ancient ruins that predated the Egyptians that showed more advanced hieroglyphics and tools than the Egyptians had than it should have been, and things like that. So, and it all kind of it times up with what was it? It's like 20 something thousand years ago that there was a whenever the last ice age was. But they say the pole shifted and the Earth rotated like 90 degrees. So like the North Pole where it's at now would have been at the equator. So when it does that, the Earth keeps spinning because of the momentum, and all the wind and water flood. Like that's what caused the Great Flood. So all the wind and water keeps going, and all the polar ice caps melt, and you get all the geographical references that they see, and they say, hey, there used to be ice, glaciers here that melted and moved all this dirt and all this stuff. But they said that was like the last great reset. Um, and it just set back human civilization back to the very beginning Stone Ages, and here we go again. So
I think it was a natural thing that wiped it out.
yeah.
So that predates Noah.
Noah was the last one that happened, according to. There's a book called Adam and Eve, the story of Adam and Eve. Let me find it. It was called The Adam and Eve Story, and it's by Chan Thomas. He was like a engineer, U.S. Air Force member. He worked in the aerospace field back in the like it was like back in the 50s. I think he wrote about this, and we know about this because he published the book The Adam and Eve Story in 1963, and then the CIA classified it, and they partially declassified it with super heavy redaction in like 2013 when it started getting talked about again, I think. But it was only 57 pages of 284 pages was released, but heavily redacted. So a lot of people presume that he had insider information about UFO technology and geographical classified areas that you can't get to, because there are pictures of these places. There's this guy that got arrested that he did a video of it, I think, when they released the story. And whenever you get to this part of the Grand Canyon, you start seeing like Black Hawk helicopters come in, or you're not allowed to fly planes below the top outside of the Grand Canyon. But then you start seeing these kind of government survey planes come in once you start getting to the no zone. So it's a bunch of what ifs and a bunch of accounts, but it all like I always try to tie it into other things, because I don't think one conspiracy is never like, it's a cool story, but it's never just that one thing. I think it ties in a lot more than just the one. I think the one gets people distracted. I think there was a civilization near our peak of what we understand as technology advanced, and then or even further, and then the cataclysmic event happened, which was like a magnetic pole shift. You got solar flares that will wipe out, and mess with your gravitational field. That's when things start moving, and they have measurements of the North Pole moving magnetically, the magnetic North Pole shifting like 9 miles or so over time and things like that. So it moves. It's not a constant, but a very large, drastic shift would have caused the ice age, would have explained a lot of the reasons of like why woolly mammoths were found frozen, like flash frozen, and not decayed and then frozen and fossilized. So there's a couple of true facts that, just like every conspiracy, a couple of true facts that line up, and then a lot of filler. But
What's the filler, man? I didn't even hear anything in there that sounded like filler.
I mean, a lot of it's assumption, right? They have blocked off restricted area, like our state forests. Like, why did Teddy Roosevelt? Was it Teddy Roosevelt? Who did the national forest?
Yeah,
I think
It goes Teddy.
yeah. So he went. I mean, there's these huge swaths of forest. Why'd they pick there? You know, like not all of them are undevelopable or something like that. I understand preservation of country and preservation of landscape. I'm all for that, but like there's certain areas where civilians can't go, even though our you know, I understand that there's top secret areas and clearances and things like that, but there's just so much, just like the ocean, there's so much that we haven't uncovered. And that was the other thing. Atlantis is that type of civilization that things like that show up, that got engulfed by water or sank into the ocean, right? And I mean, a lot of that can be attributed to a geographical change or a flood or anything like that, to where these things get wiped off the face of the earth. And it could be our Christian story of God getting mad and, you know, they're sodomizing each other and let's wipe them out. Or it was, you know, you see, I always see my brain, this is my original thought, goes to, you see the animal humanoid hieroglyphics and pictures on a lot of these ancient paintings, and it's like, you know, were they banging animals? Like, were they making these hybrid human? Yeah. Were they doing that? And then God said sorry about it, or, you know, like, because once you have everything in a civilization, if you have free energy and unlimited food supply, and you don't really have to work for a living, like, what are you doing as a civilization, right? I mean, what does that get you? We're not there yet. Everyone here's still grinding.
It's like the Tower of Babel. I mean, it was, you know, very advanced human civilization, and God just had to kind of wipe them out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I'm going to turn off my Christian hat for a second, even though it's going to be a little blasphemic. But, you know, an atheist would look at religions and say those are all conspiracy theories on all the reasons that you're trying to explain. So whether it's God or whether it's the sun or whether it's the timing of the Earth shift, I mean, I think it's God. I think it's whoever's creating and handling the Earth and says, yeah, I'm going to start over and get the whiteboard erase marker out. But yeah, that was my conspiracy theory, and like I said, there's so many different ones that tie into it. So I'm looking at it from a bigger picture, like you know, where do we come from, where do we go, kind of thing.
I think
Because we're due.
I think a big part of why the government, you know, I definitely think there are areas where there's, like, you know, electricity or magnetic fields that the government has blocked off, and it's probably blocked off mainly because of, like, foreign interests, like not U.S. related. So like it'd be hard to, like, you know, allow us to go there and not the foreign nations. I think it's really like a national security thing rather than taxpayers not being able to go there and take selfies.
Well, yeah, that's the big thing with anything classified. I don't want Iran knowing all our secrets and China knowing all our secrets. Yeah. And usually stuff like that causes world chaos. That's why there's movies made after it, like Armageddon, Deep Impact, and all that stuff.
Yeah, dude, I'm like, who knows? Like, who knows what's in the rest of the 250 pages?
And not the end the episode early without hearing camp, but like, what's the point? I was talking to my wife the other day, and I was like, why am I thinking about all this stuff? Like, what's the point? What am I doing? What am I gaining out of it? What if I find the answer? Am I going to be happier? Am I going to be better off? My brain going to relax, or am I going to freak out more? I can't take the blue pill. I can't go back in. I can't do it.
Got to take the white pill, dude.
Well, conspiracies, man. We're not going to go. What's the white pill?
Oh.
That's just the white pill's just
Tylenol.
You know, the pill of hope. You don't want to be going down like the black pill road, where you're just like, oh man, what's the point?
No. It's more
everything.
It's curiosity. It's not a. Where's my motivation? definitely not that. Yeah, no. I teeter on it. I definitely toe that line.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, I went through a phase of it too. I mean, it's just when you get into a lot of conspiracy stuff, it's like, yeah, you start questioning everything, and you're like, man, everything is so out of control. The world's so messed up, controlled by bad people. But it's like, you gotta have that white pill of hope.
Yeah, you gotta simplify,
you know?
man. Simplify.
The white pill is everyone's stupid, and we're just all doing whatever self interest we have. Like that's the white pill. It's either no one's in control or someone's in control. So either way, same outcome usually.
What do you got, Camp? What'd you say, Alaska? You were closer, right?
Yeah, he's probably a little closer.
Mine was Bitcoin and how the government created, or is at least responsible for creating Bitcoin / cryptocurrency. I had to write it down because it was a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna go through this like backlog, like maybe a minute. All right. So Bitcoin's not the first crypto. It was just it's the longest lasting one from the beginning. So they actually created some. It was like 1990s. Going back before that, though, just to show how much the government is basically in control of the internet, the first thing was ARPANET, or the first electronic computer was made by some doctor. That's irrelevant. But the first network was ARPANET, made by the DoD DARPA contractor, 1969. That used a TCP protocol, which basically we all use now, just connects to networks. And then the internet we know now is the World Wide Web, created by Tim Berners, 1989. And then he did some contract work for the, I think, UK government. I had to write that down. So the government's been the underlying organization in all this stuff we do, right? People think it's untraceable. There's nothing untraceable on the internet. You can't delete anything off the internet. It's not possible. They can always piece it back together. You can make it harder. You can hide it better, but not really. All right. So now I was asking about, so Bitcoin's created 2008, 9. 10 years later, there is a Department of Homeland Security agent, and she does a speech, 2019. So I was going to say, I have a clip, Cody. I didn't send it to you, but I don't know if it will just play over.
Do you have a share button on the bottom of your screen?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little share button.
Yeah.
Just share it, just like a Zoom call.
I wasn't part of that Zoom era, dude. Wow.
Jimmy, pull up the video of 2018 Bitcoin.
Oh, let's go. All right.
Oh, nice.
All right. So this is an interview done by a crypto news analyst, CoinDesk. But just listen to this little breakdown. So what's happening in this video? The guy that she's going to show is a lawyer, and he's doing a FOIA request, which is a Freedom of Information Act, with the government to basically get this information from the Department of Homeland Security.
From statements by a DHS agent suggesting the agency met Nakamoto and 3 others involved in Bitcoin's creation. Here is Special Agent Rana Saud speaking at the Offshore Alert Conference on Financial Intelligence and Investigations in 2019.
We looked at Bitcoin. It was the most prevalent at that point. We seized quite a bit of it, millions of dollars worth, under the Silk Road investigation. So one of our agents who started looking at another online marketplace through the deep web, which is called Black Market Reloaded, they were sending weapons through packages and ordering them on the dark web. And he was really, really smart, forward-leaning agent. And he goes, I want to go interview Satoshi Nakamoto. And we're like, what? He said, yeah, I want to go interview this guy. And at the time, we're like, hey, it's a figment of somebody's imagination. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. So, we had all this pushback from our headquarters. And we thought, hey, if an agent wants to go talk to him and we have some money, why don't we send him? Let's find out how this works. So as it came to be, the agents flew out to California and they realized that he wasn't alone in creating this. There were 3 other people, and they sat down and met with them and talked to them to find out how this actually works and what the reason for it was.
The DHS agent did not sound.
All right, so that's basically the whole clip, the lady speaking. And like he's saying, she doesn't sound like she's lying, right? She's just saying she sounds like she's having a conversation in a conference. So under that, so the first one of the guys we know got the first Bitcoin transaction. His name is Hal Finney. He actually passed away a couple years ago. And people thought he was Satoshi for a long time. So they think there's 4 of them and that he's one of them. The other thing is one of the early, so Ripple, one of the companies that me and Cody are into, XRP.
Not financial advice.
Not a financial advice, but he was a part of that group in the early, the 2008, that time area in California. He was a contractor for an NSA, and he's credited. He has a patent I can pull up that actually is a precursor to distributed ledger technology, which Bitcoin is, right? So he's an NSA guy. He was around that same time in the same area. They don't think he was Satoshi, but you have this patent. This patent I just Googled. He patented this thing in like 1988 or 89. And David Schwartz is the senior technology officer. So you still have like this whole small group of people out in Silicon Valley in the late 80s, early 90s. So the thing that got me, I even asked ChatGPT, basically rebut this argument that the government would have created Bitcoin. It says reasons it's unlikely. Core principles conflict with government interest. No direct evidence. Risky precedent and private developer community. So none of those things really sound like hard evidence of why the NSA didn't create it. It kind of just says, oh, there's no real evidence. But if the NSA created it, it would not have been. So the reason I think they did, the NSA or Bitcoin uses the same hash or cryptographic hash function, which I'm pretty sure creates the blocks of each block of Bitcoin, how it's created. It uses the same cryptographic hash function that was developed by the NSA. So it's like it's using those same functions. You have people that work for the NSA around the area at the same time. And the early assumption that Bitcoin was anonymous has been wildly disproven. They can track every transaction. Like you have timestamps. Like you can't offload Bitcoin just any way you want. So I think it was a way after the financial crash to basically give the government the ability to watch everybody like that. And that is the grand picture, because kind of going off what Jimmy was saying, like that I believe there's factions. Maybe Cody was talking about it a little bit. I was thinking about it, but there are factions within the government. So like within the NSA, there are different factions. There's different task force. So just because the NSA as a whole isn't credited with, the creation of something, or it's needless to say, there are different factions. That's all I really have to say on that. Right. I guess the part of the thing was Jimmy was talking about oil versus clean energy, right? You have these two conflicting things that are that would seem to be counterintuitive, but the same people own both sides. So like BlackRock owns both. So like, is there a faction inside of BlackRock that likes oil? Is there a faction inside of BlackRock that likes green energy? Like, are they conflicting? That's why we're like having these discussions? But yeah, that's mine. I don't know how long that was. Hopefully it wasn't that long, but
yeah, you profit on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, or it's the same thing as you're releasing something that the public will like green energy. You're releasing a privatized, decentralized, marketed technology that is still actually built, and the government knows everything about it because there's the one that released it to you. So it's not everything that it seems to be. It's that illusion of freedom.
Yep.
It's that the government's going to be the one that needs to use it for us to become rich, Camp. But they're not going to do that because they don't want a bunch of rich people.
But there's not. So that, dude, I'm in it every day. So right now, the population that owns crypto on Earth is maybe 1 million people that own a significant amount of crypto of their portfolio, right?
Yeah.
1 million people out of 7 billion, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to tap into what's happening is you're enlarging the amount of people that are going to be in the financial system, specifically Africa. Africa is like the largest market, right? They have 1 billion people there. They're all unbanked. So as a BlackRock, you want those people in the system to offer them loans, to keep them down. So them letting 1 million people get rich is okay if they're going to get 1 billion people to be in their network.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I agree with that for sure. It's a power game.
Is that Bitcoin specifically you're saying, or because aren't they talking about making like a Fed coin?
Yeah. So you just have to look at the protocols. So Bitcoin, sorry for any Bitcoin listeners on this pod in the future. Bitcoin is a one-trick pony, and you can't actually build anything on it. So what Ryan is saying is they want to create a system that they control, but you have to build it on top of a protocol. But you can't build it on top of Bitcoin. So you have Ethereum, you have XRP. Those are protocols you can build on. And yes, they're trying to. They have a Fed now. They have a Fed now system, but they don't have a Fed coin. But if you hear about central bank digital currencies, that's the control mechanism. But you still need. They can't create that without creating their own protocol, and they're not going to create their own protocol as a government because then nobody's going to use it if it's private. If it's privately owned by like Google, if Google was like owned by the government, nobody would use it. But we know the government has the capability to go into Google and say, "Hey, do this." So like Cody just said, the illusion of choice. You have to provide different networks for people to want to use them. So they're going to use a public blockchain, and then they're going to create verticals from that. That's going to be the central bank digital currencies.
That goes hand in hand with that other conspiracy I was seeing the other day, is that like you looked up a patent, and most of those patents like that are usually theories before they're inventions. Like usually it's someone that sketched up something that says, I'm going to invent this. I don't want anyone to take my idea exactly before I actually invent the thing. But like the government siphons and develops. I think Pete Buttigieg was talking about it on Andrew Schultz's podcast, was that people use the government's inventions for their businesses. So like we use the roadways to deliver things, which is why we pay taxes, right? We use the infrastructure. Camp's saying that crypto, or at least Bitcoin, and the internet were government research-led, created things that now everyone gets to reap the benefit of. I don't argue with him that that's why the endowment to the universities are in such a controversy right now, is because the government gives endowments to universities to do that kind of research, right? And it's just gotten a little bit crazy with what they're giving out money for. But so it's a good thing. If the government's going to develop these types of technologies, that's great. But again, it's guys like Camp doing their research that find out if you're actually getting a privatized version of that, or if you're still using an illusion of freedom, which again, if it's done correctly, it's done correctly, but we know how governments like to operate.
Yeah. And like that patent too, it expired in 2008, late 2008, and then Bitcoin showed up in early 2009. So
Beautiful.
How convenient. That's gotta be a coincidence.
Yeah.
There are no coincidences.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Coincidences.
Oh, Cam, that is a hell of a conspiracy. That, but not much of a conspiracy actually. Got me. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on that one for sure.
It's only a conspiracy because they don't like publicly admit to it.
Yeah.
That's
Not
That's the
for
only
So do we like? So we like crypto or no?
I think I do, for the simple fact, like, if I hold my cryptocurrency in something that I only have access to, like, the government can't take it, right? I In your bank account, the FDIC or whoever can go get that money whenever they want. Like, that's a fact. But my cryptocurrency, because I have, what's my passcode for my 24-word combination, I'm not worried about it getting hacked.
say the first three.
And, yeah, I don't even know. You gotta write them down. They're
It's like
long.
it's like Apple, bus, grocery store, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
It's freaking crazy. But for somebody to come take my crypto, they have to come into my apartment and physically take my passwords. So that's why I like it. Like, and the transfer is very easy. Any money I get from my paycheck, I buy crypto, hold it, and if I need it later, I just move it back. Like, I don't keep any money, dude. At any point in time, I probably have like $12 in my bank account. I'll be honest with you. Like, I just don't. I don't trust banks. I don't trust Robinhood after Robinhood did that whole freaking stopping people buying and selling. I just really, really got out of it. So.
Do you keep your? It's a cold wallet, right? So do you keep your cold wallet like in a Faraday bag or anything?
I do.
This guy's all
Completely
the
cut
way.
off from the internet, man.
You know what a Faraday bag is, Ryan?
Yeah, it's like you can't get like any kind of electrical frequency through it, right, or something like that along those
It
lines.
stems from the Faraday cage. So it's just like what metal? I forget what metal it is, but it's an interwoven metallic mesh bag that does stop electric impulses from affecting your small, semiconductor stuff.
So I got another question, just because I'm curious, but like, because I know, so they physically, let's just say, like, can't take your crypto away unless they, like you said, showed up and grabbed it. Are there strategies that don't have to take your crypto but could make it lose its value?
So yeah, they could tank the crypto market at any point. Like, I have no delusions that whoever the powers that be don't have the ability to cause the crypto market to go down, right? And I lose dollar, I'm gonna say dollar quality, dollar amount maybe. Like, because BlackRock specifically, they're buying a lot of Bitcoin. They're into crypto now, so a lot of people will see them buying it, and then let's say they just say we're going to sell all of our crypto. They're going to tank the market. Like, so they control it. They control the narrative. They control the media around it. So yeah, they control the price. Which, I mean, it is what it is, but it's not going anywhere. What's up?
They own everything else. So what the hell do we do?
Yeah, it might take another 15 years, but crypto's not going anywhere. But like, it's here to stay. It's like the internet. The internet was what I say, 1889, and we didn't really start interacting with the internet to probably 2010. That's 30 years.
1889, is that what you said?
Yeah, World Wide Web, 1889, or 20 years.
That's
So it took 20 years for us to really get Facebook and Instagram, our main interactions with the internet. So
Are there any?
That was when those computers were the size of your house.
Yeah.
Does anybody know? Do you guys know? Or I should probably just ask ChatGPT. Is there any like cashless nations?
Cashless? I don't know about cashless. I mean, is there money?
Like African tribes that just don't even use money; they just barter like a couple bales of hay for a horse.
I'm sure there are still barter type system societies.
Well,
primarily that
advanced that have like advanced higher than a cash.
don't
I mean,
think so.
No.
not that that's what I want. I don't want that at all. But, no,
I mean, most money's digital though. Like cash is if you if you ever there is a I don't know if I showed this one time. Look it up real quick. They have a um, debt tracker. Debt tracker.
Yeah, the debt tracker web page.
Yeah, yeah. So this is uh, and you can look on here and look at the M2 money supply, which is everyday deposits, cash deposits, savings, in all the banks. Uh,
Compared
and
to the actual proclaimed.
compared to the actual money supply. So let me share this real quick. So this is fascinating. I downloaded it on my app and I just look every now and again because it's so crazy.
yeah. How the hell do you pay for like your like a mortgage or apartment?
I say okay. So I keep when I get paid, I know my rent
Yeah,
is
you
$1,700.
keep that saved to the side.
Yeah, but anything else, like I don't hold it in my bank account. So
No,
if you
I
look
took
at this,
I took it literally when you said $12 in your account. I'm like, how the fuck? I want to be there
no,
too.
no.
You mail checks to the bank?
Yeah. So let's look at this. Where is she?
I need that Doge clock to move a little faster.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They just keep spending more money.
Okay, so and all this information is pulled from like the government databases. So if you look right here, into money supply is actually going up right now, which is I guess good. But also fascinating. So these right here, nobody knows what this is, and there's another
Where are you at?
conspiracy
What part
right
of the screen?
here. Money creation.
Give me a top left, middle, center, right, left.
Left down, almost to the bottom.
Okay.
Money creation next to the pyramid in the United States. So it says future USA Treasury dollars. So the conspiracy is that right now they're letting the debt run wild so they can get rid of all the current dollars and reissue Treasury dollars, which was a thing back in. Oh, okay, here it is. Yes. All right. So Kennedy signed an executive order issuing U.S. Treasury dollars by bypassing Federal Reserve. So I guess there's multiple factions and there's multiple types of dollars, but I guess we're using what's up.
I don't know why I'm raising my hand on my own podcast, but
Yeah, what's up?
those two pictures of the presidents share something.
Oh.
They have something in common.
They both have hair.
They both have holes in their head, Jimmy.
Yeah,
I'm effing
They're
around.
both incredibly good looking.
So,
yeah.
what does that to say about this current president? If we start issuing treasury bills under his presidency, what happens? That's one of my. That's the part two of my conspiracy is that these
What the hell is
cataclysmic
the
events
treasury
repeat.
bill?
Hey, I have a question real quick. It kind of is what Jimmy just asked, but I was looking at this earlier, and it's because I was looking at the Fed can collect interest, so I looked up what does the Fed do with the interest that it collects, and it says that after the Fed has paid its expenses, any remaining profit is turned over to the U.S. Treasury. This money is then used to help fund government spending. So, what is the Treasury?
Honestly, couldn't tell you.
It's like
I don't know what they do.
it's like the treasurer of any type of club, like a HOA or something. Like they track the money and they say, hey, we paid all our debt that we needed to for this quarter, and then we have this much money to spend in our federal budget for whatever they're allocated to do.
What is a
But it says
treasury bill?
Treasury bill was debt free, interest free, which I'm kind of curious on. It's like our dollar.
Our dollar's dead.
It gets affected by interest and debt and inflation. A treasury
Yeah.
bill would be like guaranteed not to lose or change value, right? For the time that it's issued.
I don't know about that, but our current currency is a debt instrument. So
Yeah, it's an IOU.
yeah,
Literally.
Oh, it's a we owe someone. It's my great grandpa owes China, and I just use it.
I don't understand how the Fed issues money and then they get money, they get interest on that money. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Well, because the Fed they loan money.
Where
That's
do they
how
get their money?
they print it.
Same.
So whenever they, so
No, it's. I think they get money two ways, Camp. People buy the debt, right? It's like you're investing in the United States, so it's like investing in a company. You buy shares of the T-bills, right? You buy the bonds, like those 5-year interest bonds, and we get 2% return once they pay us back. But you're basically giving them a loan to work with that money, right? Is that you're buying their debt? So
yeah.
it's like if I bought your mortgage and I was your mortgage, and I would charge you interest to pay me your mortgage back. It's just the whole lending sin of interest.
It all just seems fake.
Yes, 100%.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, and they make money by big banks, J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, by them borrowing money to also give to you
To borrow
the money you borrowed. Yeah.
They get loans, and then they give loans, and they collect interest on those loans.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yep.
Hold on. Let me just deal let me deal with that real quick.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be a tax-paying citizen.
Yeah.
It's just a game, man.
I'm glad they need my money.
I just hope I keep rolling 12s and Pasco and get my $200 and keep on going.
But yeah, that was my conspiracy.
We'd have a Monopoly drought, Jimmy. I need to play some Monopoly, dude. I'm fiending for it.
I feel like I could just crush a Monopoly session right now.
Jimmy is notorious for rage quitting when he's not winning, though. It's fantastic. Especially when his wife's winning. He's just he hasn't flipped the table yet, but
I have a trigger that's just like, you're making crazy deals, I'm out of here.
That's how I feel every day in real life, Jimmy, in the real world game. I feel like rage quitting so many times. So you guys better start making better content so I can quit my job.
Dude, Monopoly should have an option to start a war.
That's what Jimmy does.
Yeah. You start losing a little bit, you just start a war.
Start a war. That's awesome.
Destabilize a little bit.
That's you got
Ryan, if you really want to, I was gonna say, Ryan, if you really, besides the interest rate thing, if you really want to go down a rabbit hole, look into derivatives. That's basically what crashed the whole system in 2008. Derivatives.
Derivatives. Yeah, I've heard that word thrown around. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's betting the future of what the economy looks like, and when they're wrong, everything blows up, and then they get bailed out.
Literal betting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
It's betting with it's betting with degrees and certifications in economy.
And isn't also like the fractional reserve banking also part of that?
Yeah.
Like, because those banks can give loans based off of assets
they
have.
They can loan up to 90% of your money. So
yeah,
they only have to hold, or maybe it's 90.
Yeah, like they just have to hold 10%, and then then they can loan out whatever the 100% is.
Yep.
Yeah, it's wild.
I feel so vulnerable. Not to break it off conspiracy. I guess it's still kind of a conspiracy, but we're most vulnerable. I think it was one of the questions I had on one of the itineraries that we never got to, but like our energy system and a power outage or anything like that, we are most vulnerable in that sense because Camp has his cold wallet storage, but if he can't plug it in to retrieve it or move it or spend it, then what's the point of it? If I can't use my credit card, what's the point of any of the money that I worked so hard? Like, that's why I feel so detached from those kind of things and so dependent. I feel like daddy government, you're just dependent on them and just the construct of society to eat, breathe, sleep, and live. Like I can't.
You can't look, but you can't go down that rabbit hole, right? If the grid goes down, like it's over. Like if you can't use electricity or water, like the only currency is bullets. So like,
but those are limited too. Yeah. They can only carry so many.
Yeah, that's a good point because I was gonna say the grid goes out, the little paper dollar Who cares about that either?
Yeah.
What are you going to buy with that paper dollar? You're not going to, you know what I mean?
I think you could trick enough people right off the bat if you have paper money. You could trick
off the bat, maybe. But
not for water. Not for water.
You could trick some people. Yeah, you could trick some people for sure.
Camp Sand, the most important asset is hunting equipment.
No.
Yeah, but then
you're not tricking people for water, dude.
But again, if you got to rebuild a society, like after that, and you have to restructure things, there will be a stream of violence. That's human nature. That's just nature. There will be a stream of violence, but that violence has to stop at some point. It can't just be eternal apocalyptic scenario. Then everyone's just going to die.
You think the violence has to stop?
Not stop, but it's got to get back.
Yeah, I don't think it has to stop.
It's got to get back. It's got to get back to where it is now.
Something happening here.
You don't think violence is going on, dude?
No, violence is going on, but like not on my street.
The violence ain't
okay. See, that's your perspective. That's our problem, right? Our perspective is there's no violence going on. It's violence in most of the world.
I know,
but not in DeLand, not in Daytona, not in Gainesville.
I mean, it's been a couple.
So maybe the Fed is good then.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you're like we're in a weird position to where we can criticize and speculate and get mad at the system that we're in. Everyone on both sides, and that's the whole political game is playing tug of war on which way we want to row the boat to keep it going. It just gets more chaotic. It doesn't get any better. I mean, it gets better and worse, I guess, ebbs and flows, but it's going to keep going until the river stops, I guess. Or not. Isn't it just an eternal river? We just keep going? I don't think so.
How do you even abolish the Fed?
You don't.
You can't.
You abolish the Fed, you rebrand it like they did with the Doge. They rebranded it from another agency that they had constitutionally approved, or not constitutionally, but legally approved, and then you call it the Fed coin, or you call it whatever the digital banking currency is going to be.
Yeah, you can't get rid of it. But I did have one point because I know Ryan has to go. But this was kind of off what Jimmy was talking about earlier. You're talking about the landman scene when he's telling her basically the wind turbines, like how they're created, and it destroys like all the stuff. Well, not destroys, but it costs so much to build those things. And there's another scene from Yellowstone when John Dutton is having, because he becomes like the governor or whatever, but he's having a meeting with his cabinet, and they're talking about getting rid of sage grass or sage brush. And the one dude who's in charge of the meeting, he's like, oh, there's no evidence to suggest if you get rid of sage grass, it destroys it or something along those lines. And he's like, so you're telling me if we remove all the sage grass, you don't think it's going to destroy it? And he's like, no, there's no evidence. There's no evidence that that's a thing. Like, if we just remove it, we didn't destroy it, basically. And Dutton was like, the fact that you don't see a problem with that is the problem. So just like the wind turbines, and I thought about this when I was running, and I had to write it down. Today, I'm gonna say today in 2025, right? The Republican and Democrat parties are split on this thing right here. So Republicans, they know there's gonna be pain when we're doing stuff. So oil, we know it's bad for the environment. We understand it, but we need it. It is a crucial part of our way of life. Same thing with raising cattle. It's critical, right? All this stuff is critical, and we understand like something is going to have to suffer. I think the disconnect is Democrats, 2025, not 90s or whatever. Like we're saying, we were all Democrats at one point. Democrats want to avoid the pain as much as possible, which when they're avoiding it, they're acting like it doesn't exist. But somebody has to frack the oil or pull the oil out of the ground to make the steel that's going to make the wind turbine to collect the clean energy. Like, I think that's the disconnect of the two sides right now. Like, one side's pretending like there's not pain, and the other side, I'm not going to say doesn't care about the pain, but we understand that the pain is necessary for, the way we decide to live our lives.
That's an accountability thing. They don't want to internally justify it. They don't want to go through that thought exercise and internal back and forth dialogue. They want to eat their hamburger but not kill a cow, and it doesn't work that way. Like you're saying, it doesn't work that way. Not in the real world.
Yeah. That's a pretty good wrap on what Camp just said. Yeah, they want to eat a hamburger.
It's gonna prolong the inevitable, right? It's like if you don't challenge yourself, if you don't run every day like Camp says, you're gonna deteriorate. He's making himself stronger with pain. We all know that. But some people don't. I mean, like you're saying, some people grow up with no violence on their street, and they don't realize that it actually happens. So it's a perspective thing. That was the whole argument with tariffs, is that it's gonna suck. That was my other timeline, not conspiracy, but just kind of a history repeats itself. Is 100 years ago we were in kind of similar circumstances, and then 100 years before that we were in similar circumstances again with producing tariffs, more of an isolationist mentality with the government, and then an eventual economic collapse and some type of industry or private coalition or coup, like Jimmy was talking about. Like the investors or the funders are swaying a lot of the political decisions, which is the oligarchy that people are starting to talk about now. But that was talked about 100 years ago today, and then another 100 years ago today, when the industrial boom happened and America started getting back on track after the Civil War and stuff. So that big industry guys, because you guys know about the coup that almost happened, right? Like J.P. Morgan and all those guys that are in Ryan's book that he referenced earlier, that made the Fed and all that stuff.
I mean, yeah.
They approached a general that was a senator at the time or something like that, and they were trying to overthrow Roosevelt, and they're trying to do a coup. And it was one. I looked up conspiracy theories that ended up being true, and that was one of them. At the time, everything was like, oh no, that's all make believe, whatever. But then as it went on in the 60s, they were like, yeah, that almost happened. But hats off to the general that said no. So could have been bad. But I think that's what people are scared of now when they see Musk and they see all these rich Republican-sided guys that are historically, yes, left-leaning and praised by the left, but then are seeing that business opportunity to fund both sides of it. And so hopefully it doesn't turn out bad. But if history has anything to say about it, either the poles are going to switch and we all die, or we'll go through an economic hardship. I think the economic hardship is pretty likely. Ryan, you got to go. You got a time limit, and you wanted to go last. What's up with that?
No, it's just probably my turn.
Bring it up.
I don't have to go. I got no time limit tonight, dude.
Yeah, no work tomorrow.
Just on-call stuff that comes in.
Right.
So yeah, most likely. I do have golf actually first thing in the morning, but that's easy to get up for.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I got? Well, I've kind of been bouncing around since even the start of this episode. I originally had 9/11 on there.
Bring it on.
And
never forget.
Yeah, the more we were talking though, I think I'm gonna switch it to you guys ever heard of Project Bluebeam?
I've heard it, and once you start talking about it, I'll know. But yeah,
Laser.
It's basically I don't know if there's a page open. Project Bluebeam, basically, and I'm kind of just learning this as I'm reading on this Wikipedia page, but
not Wikipedia, Ryan.
I told you I got too much stuff to remember these days. I can't remember all the details about it, but it's basically it's along the lines of a global government, like a one world government, and the way they're going to use to implement a one world government is to fake an alien invasion. And I believe it's almost, once you look into globalism, new world order, all that stuff, it's kind of easy to see their playbook, it's kind of the same things over and over. Like with COVID, for example, they use predictive programming. I don't know if you guys I think we talked about it last podcast, but I remember seeing like kind of weeks ahead before like COVID was a big thing. There's little articles talking about it, like before it was even before like the first person even had it. They're talking about it. They're just like putting it into the public psyche, and it's kind of, you know, they make movies about you know, a virus that comes down, or someone catches it, turns everyone into zombies, right? They're kind of implementing in people's minds like a scenario that can happen, so that when it does happen, they're pretty much primed up and ready for like, okay, this is what we do when this happens. So Project Bluebeam is basically what I believe in. There's, especially nowadays, there's always articles about UFOs, aliens, all this stuff. It's even on the corporate media now. So it's like, you know, CNN and Fox will be talking about UFOs. They'll have some general or some guy just come on the TV talk, oh yeah, we don't know what the heck this thing is, da 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 da, and it's like, okay. I believe that they're probably gonna prep I think people in our society for like another 10 years or so. I don't know. It depends how fast they want to move it along. But I believe that in our lifetime, they will probably try to stage an invasion and say it's otherworldly as a way to implement like world government.
I agree with that fully. And do you want to hear my take on it from what I've seen on it?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
All right. I wanted to ask just in case you guys came on here not to hear me talk, but you ever heard of Project 2030?
Yeah.
So I've already mentioned that they were hammering Project 2025 when Trump was running about all the woke right, far right agenda stuff that was listed on it. I think to distract us and to put out there that if I go want to search 2030, Project 2030, that Project 2025 will show up. And I think that's where a lot of the play on words that you see those videos of guys using all the word language with like currency and riverbank, bank, all that crazy stuff. I think they do that to trick us, and they do wordplay for sure. The wordplay and the number play is huge, I think. Some of those guys are nuts being able to recite that. But anyways, the 2030 comes from, it's what's the organization that the guy just stepped down?
The WEF.
Yeah, World Economic Forum. It was basically having to go with the 15-minute cities and the reorganizing of society to like, you don't have to leave your 15-minute radius or mile radius, and you have to have a passport to be able to leave there, and they have to have checkpoints and all that stuff. Well, if you centralize government and you centralize, you know, New World Order type stuff, and everyone's operating that way, that makes sense because you have everything right there. You have all your artificial foods, you have all your mass produced, all this stuff. You don't need to leave. Where are you going to go? You have to ask us for permission first. That goes, and just like Ryan saying, that goes with all those alien invasion or Red Dawn type movies, to where a foreign entity, whether it's a country, aliens, your own government, takes over, takes control. They put you in your little concentration camps of cities and areas, and they police state the crap out of you. And that's in most movies, right? You got all your checkpoints, you got all your you got your districts, right? You got your all that stuff. That's the dystopian future. They write books about that. Our kids read them. They watch the movies. Rachel's listening and reading the new Hunger Games stuff. It's coming back up, and so they definitely tell us or show us things, or they get the ideas from the crazy authors that come up with that stuff. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're like, wow, that's a pretty good idea. We should use that.
And do you know how? It's because the DoD has their own film, segment. The Pentagon has their own like film
faction?
budget. Yes.
Oh yeah, dude. And was it Project Mockingbird? They're
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
What do you mean film?
they control all the corporate news and all that.
Not just news, but like so
Joe Rogan.
there's films, especially military, like maybe like Black Hawk Down or Zero Dark 30. They have liaisons that go out, and obviously they want to make sure specifically for the Black Hawks or whatever the planes were, the SEALs used to get into Bin Laden's compound.
Osprey.
That was all classified aircraft, but because they blew it up, they got part of the tail and they were able to like reconstruct it for the film, but they had to make sure the DoD was okay with like them basically like building this mock aircraft. But that to say, they do that with a lot of films. Like the DoD has a lot more play in the propaganda, like Ryan's saying, like the build up to something. It's because like they're in the talks with the movie producers and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's not just consulting to make sure it's movie accurate. They're consulting to make sure that you're not giving up too much away.
Yeah, dude, you throw up some subsonic long range missiles and AC-130s and Blackhawks in the middle of the night. People aren't going to know what the hell's going on. They're not going to know it's a damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People aren't going to know what's going on in the middle of the night. We've never been, bombed stateside like that. No, nobody. What's to say it's not a UFO, or they can frame it to be that? Or,
you guys seen any of those Y-file videos that the guy does? He's got the little goldfish, the hecklefish or whatever.
No.
He's got some good videos. It's called Y-files. He's been doing it for a while. It was crazy. So this is the type of deja vu I've been going to. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but make myself feel special because everyone else watches these things too. But Rachel and I were watching the Y-files like last week. Like I was showing her, I was like, hey, this guy, he's got some good videos. He does like all the ancient civilizations. He does. The whole thing is good because he tells a really good story. He lays out the conspiracy. Then at the end, he like debunks it. He gives all the information against it. So like he leads you on the whole way. You're like, oh man, this is awesome. This is real. I fully believe this. And at the end, he like tells you why, like he backs up some of it, but then he debunks a lot of it. So it's good. He does a good job. But he was talking about Bluebeam with Joe Rogan, and how there are energy weapons that it may not be drones because they tried that, right? They did the drones off of New Jersey, and they got the Chinese drone or satellite drone thing going across the state. So like they're testing the public there to see how we would react to drones in the sky or things we're not used to, or the UFOs or whatever. But he's saying that they would even further, like even more of the psychological side of it. They would ionize air particles or the plasma in the air, like where you get lightning from, and they would be able to direct that to produce images that would signal in our brain, and then he kind of went off, like he grabbed the 5G, he grabbed the Neuralink chip that could be done in the future and things like that people have, or he grabbed the mRNA vaccines that people think have the microbe or the what's it called, the neuro like the neurobots or whatever, that to where instead of doing drones and everyone sees an alien or everyone sees Jesus, because that's not going to work on everyone, right? And it wouldn't work the same on different people. They would show some type of they would ionize it to where it would be more of a psychedelic or electromagnetic frequency experience that we would all interpret differently, but it would have a better effect on each individual person or individual group because it would be more of my way of thinking. Does that make sense? It would be more of a.
You can't attack everybody with the same.
Correct.
With the same thing.
Correct. So.
Makes sense.
And to think of the manpower to be able to hide that many like drones or whatever, or holographic projection, I think is what he was going more towards. But it was like a holographic projection. But to do that, you have to have a certain media still to project something. So he was talking about you would, like the whole weather modification and things like that. They would put something in the atmosphere that would be able to sustain a hologram that would give us that view and freak us out or put us in the submissive position or be like, help government, help, there's aliens coming. So
yeah, and to touch on that too is like you don't have to do it everywhere. You could do it in one location, like a hologram or something like that, and as long as you have media attention on it, you can kind of frame it however you want to frame it. And just playing on people's fears alone will get them to kind of follow like right in line with everything. And I'm reading on the because the book this guy wrote, he wrote it in 1994, and it says his claim was, I guess the claim is NASA, with the help of the United Nations, was attempting to implement a new age religion with the Antichrist at its head and to start a new world order via technology simulating the second coming of Christ. So kind of, yeah, I feel like they're gonna, I feel like that's how they would definitely use it, you know, in that type of like, they have like, I feel like in order to have something that big or to create like a one world government type of thing, there has to be a godlike figure. And I think that's a lot of like what the AI stuff is about, alien stuff is about, is like on one hand they'll openly, you know, mock God and give you every reason, you know, why God doesn't exist and why that's a foolish idea. Yet they'll come and try to replace God with like, oh, aliens who know more than us, you know,
But
they're higher beings than us, or AI is like way more advanced than us. It's all knowing. It's like they just replace God with, you know, whatever story that they want to put in place. And that's why I don't like Elon Musk and the transhumanist and all those dudes. I don't trust any of those guys.
Well, and that's where my worry comes from, because I don't play chess, but I feel checkmated. I feel like there's a large swath of the population globally, but really just in America, that are going back to a more spiritual, religious viewpoint, right? And then, like you're saying, the government denies it, or they don't talk about it, and they kind of discredit it, to where now those people in power, when it happens, when they execute their plan, they say, actually, no, this is Jesus Christ. Then you just saw the biggest naysayer flip, and then it makes it more reassuring that, oh, they are convinced and they were in the opposite direction. Well, then I already believe in God, so it must be true. It's way easier for me to believe that, right? So they already nudged us in the position to accept it. Everyone's fleeting back to, you know, God, Christianity. So I feel like we're getting nudged in that direction, because the best way to nudge someone is either by force, and I don't feel force. I feel like force isn't happening right now, or it's like a general kind of reverse psychology nudge to rebel. Right? Americans have that natural tendency to want to rebel.
Coercion.
What?
It's coercion.
Yeah, there you go. That too. Yeah, that's a yeah. We're getting coerced, so I feel a little checkmated, but I feel like that's why they're going after the podcasting network, is because we talk about stuff like this, and as minimal as it is, and the 3 people that are going to watch this, including us, will.
Big shout out, viewers.
Yeah, big shout out. Thanks for being here. Click the thumbs up or thumbs down. It doesn't really matter. I just need clicks at this point. They can be anything.
We just need engagement.
Just don't hit the back button or anything like that. So, but yeah, I just feel like we're always getting coerced in the direction, and we're never going to win. It's a little.
That's what
the
kind of scares me
overwhelming
about
part of it.
Like the crypto stuff. I guess that's the thing that I always think about, just in the back of my mind, of like, man, it seems like I get a lot of it. It sounds good because it's like, yeah, the Fed sucks, fiat money sucks, but at the same time, it's like, man, this crypto thing that you can track every single thing, and it's like, you know, is it going to end up being the mark of the beast?
Ryan, I'm 100% with you. There's no delusion in my mind that doesn't tell me that crypto is a control mechanism that they're going to use. My view is, if it's going to be implemented anyway, I might as well profit off of it and try to use that profit to better my life and my family's life. So don't take me as, don't think I'm a fool. Don't take me. I know you don't take me as a fool. Don't take me as a fool thinking I'm just like nonchalant and I just think this thing is the best thing ever. No, I think it is a system they're going to use to enslave more people. That's the end goal. They're trying to enslave more people into this debt system. That's what it is. They want to bank the unbanked. Why would you want to do that? Because they can give them debt. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Daddy might as well make a little bit of dough off it.
Right?
That goes back to my desire to do change or be ahead of the game. Like you're saying, Camp, you can be ahead of the game. You can play their game. You can be on their side. But what does that make you, right? That you're looking out for yourself. Nothing wrong with that. I'm all about that. I'm invested just like you are. I'm paying attention to it almost like you are, not to the quite same extent, but I want to profit and benefit off of it too. So that way I'm not just a slave. But what does that make you compared to everyone else? Is that just a winner and losers world scenario? I guess that's the world picture that I've been wrestling with, is there's just winners and losers. And
there are.
Hopefully,
There are winners and losers.
hopefully you're a winner.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a sore loser, but sore losers.
Can you get to heaven being a loser on earth? Absolutely. But I'd much rather be a winner on earth and go to heaven.
Well, that's the whole eye. That's the eye of the camel, the verse, right? I mean, you have to be able to relinquish that.
Yeah, you have it. I'm not tied to it, but it'd be nice to own a boat.
I've been eyeballing those Costa Customs, man. There's so much money.
Oh, I had a question for Ryan. So I know you kind of did the research, like as you were. It wasn't like set on Bluebeam, but are there any? I'm a big movie guy. Do you have any movies that kind of tie into like what the little research you did, like that you can point out?
There's one. What's the one, man? It must have been like 10 years ago or something. I forget the name of it, but it was like, it's basically an alien ship showed up out of nowhere basically and like just hung up over a city or whatever and then kind of enslaved the world in a way. I forget what the name was of it. But I mean, there's a lot of movies with aliens.
The Avengers.
I think it's, what's up?
The Avengers, the first one.
Oh, I mean, nah. But I mean, but there's a number of movies just with aliens and all that. And because, dude, it's outer space. Like, outer space is like the craziest thing. You know, it's like everyone
real,
deep down has the thoughts. Yeah, it's like
if it's real, it's
out
crazy.
there.
But Joe Rogan,
So it's like,
Rogan doesn't think we got past the Van Allen radiation belt. So whatever being visits us has to come in through there, or they have to come in through a portal inside of our atmosphere.
He made a good
I don't think
argument.
we know that much about space.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think we know as nearly as much as we proclaim to know about space.
I do think there's satellites up there that have tungsten rods for strikes that are non-nuclear though. That's another conspiracy theory.
Tungsten rods,
Say that
like
again?
are you talking about a directed energy weapon?
No. So these they have satellites. Tungsten rod basically comes out and it's targeted, and it drops to the earth at Mach 8, hits the ground, destroys everything. So, and Ryan, the thing that you're saying about like the programming is so perfect because I'm a big movie guy. Again, this same thing showed up in you remember G.I. Joe at Channing Tatum in The Rock. G.I. Joe Retaliation. It was
I think I've seen that one.
just a movie. Yeah, but in that movie, this exact thing. What year was this?
I vote
the
2012. I'm gonna look it up.
2012.
I'm gonna look it up.
The weapon of choice was called like God's thumbers, whatever. But they did this exact thing. They dropped tungsten rods and like they blew up London. Was one like the first place they blew up, but it doesn't have the nuclear fallout. That's the biggest thing, right? Yeah, exactly what you're saying. They're programming us, and then sure enough, I saw a video on that like the other day.
2013.
This was
2013.
2013. Yeah, so it was the second movie, but yeah, like
So
conditioning.
you have like you confirmed that these satellites are up there that have tungsten rods, or are you just speculating?
Well, I saw a video. Some scientist was talking about satellites, and
Because tungsten's like the heaviest, densest metal that we can work with. Because I remember that I used tungsten for one of my projects in school. We were making a train that could transport lava from a volcano, and we used tungsten containers. But sorry, go ahead.
No. That's basically it. Just like Ryan's saying, like they conditioned us, and it's funny. Like I just saw this video. That was 2013, and that was 11, 12 years ago. And now this dude's talking about how satellites are basically up there with the rods, and then the drones was another thing. So like how we're talking about the projections, right? They said like they have quote unquote these capsules that hold drones in lower atmosphere, and whenever whoever's ready can release them. So now you have this opportunity to do these projections, and yeah, so it's crazy.
And I just think it's such a easy emotional thing for people to grab onto as well. Like they would almost like welcome
Yeah.
Like people want there to be aliens or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
like I think during COVID, it's like people I think like the lore of being in a doomsday type scenario, something going on.
Yes, because society is constructed to make us anxious as hell all the time, and that's what we wait for.
Yeah.
There's your satellite.
Yep.
That's from the movie. Hey, look at you guys.
Oh, okay.
Look at you guys.
Yeah.
There. I mean, that scares the shit out of me, Camp, because there's so many satellites up there, and
So many
by
satellites
different
that we
people.
don't know
I mean,
what. Yeah.
the United States launches more than anyone, but I know China's been pumping them out. My
Yeah.
thing about the satellite the other day when I was researching the pole shift and the magnetic pole shift and stuff was if Elon actually is like, I'm going to save the world type of it, like that hyper intellect, hyperhuman type thing. We're going to go to Mars, save the world. If he's building a network of Starlink satellites to carpet the Earth, because there are already a lot of satellites up there, but if they build a network to fully connect around the Earth, who's to say those don't malfunction and affect the Earth's magnetic field and poles? Or if he's trying to save it, they're up there to counteract a pole shift, like to prevent it. Which, again, I mean, Tony Stark made a robot to save the world, but then it tried to kill the world. So
I don't trust a guy. I don't trust a guy who's saying he's going to save the world.
That's fair. I agree with that.
I mean, he wants to put a chip in your brain. So
yeah, that aspect's really cool for people that if it can help. I know there's things that you can put on your spine to help make you walk and move your limbs and things like that to help electrical connections. All that stuff's really cool. People really need to be, people really need to consider that their brain is very special, and that's where your consciousness lives, and that's where consciousness is the one thing that makes humans very special, other than our soul. But the actual consciousness of us to be able to make critical decisions is what separates us from the chat GPT that we use. So don't get.
No way we're going to Mars, by the way.
We haven't even been in the moon yet.
0% chance, dude. You telling me Elon? Oh yeah, we're just gonna go to Mars, build shit? No chance. It doesn't even make sense.
I started watching.
2030, you're gonna be able to buy parts of the moon.
They're gonna tokenize the moon and you can buy it. Dude,
That's hilarious,
dude. That's awesome. I'm buying a piece.
I'd rather buy a piece over in like Ireland and become a lord. Like the thing you can do over there.
The moon's gonna be the 51st state.
The moon before Puerto Rico or before the Dominican Republic. Yeah, that'd be fun. I just started watching a show. It's an older one, but it's called Hello Tomorrow.
Hello Kitty.
It's called Hello Tomorrow. I just stumbled across it because I've been trying to look for honestly for other stimulating type of shows that, like what Ryan's saying, that have that edge of like things that they might be trying to tell us. I like watching shows like that. It's like my study.
Oh,
it's like my study guide.
Dude, check out the Agency on Prime.
Yeah, that's on the list.
Gave me the final reason I need to watch that show.
Dude, I put off watching it for so long, but give it to about episode 3, and you're like,
that's most of them. I'm only on episode 2 with this Hello Tomorrow, but it's like a 50s vibe, like the aesthetic and everything, but it's the 50s vibe, like the Jetsons, like they have robots, but they're like all the retro type of technology robots. They have like levitating cars, but they're like old 50s style cars. These guys go around and they just started, but I think I kind of have it figured out. They're selling like retirement homes inside of a dome on the moon. Like it's like hey, they already settled the moon. Like go up there, buy this thing and go. What I think happens is they sell this thing, they get the money, they send people up there, or they just kill them. I don't think no one ever makes it up there. I don't think it's a real thing. But I think that's also on the spectrum of, hey, because what was the other one? It's called Shrinking, where it's got Matt Damon in it, the movie where they shrink people and they put them in a little town because people are too big, so they put them in a little small one. But then something happens.
Yeah. Or they have to go in the tunnel or whatever to escape or.
And then the other one was the TV series Upload, which is where it's like they sell it as an afterlife. You upload your brain and your consciousness to this database, and you go live. Your consciousness lives in this digital simulation. But you can do it, like you can pay to do it. Like me and you could go pay to do it in the movie, and they basically like they put you down and they freaking like laser beam off your head, and you get uploaded to this thing. And but they have different ones to where it's like a subscription. It's like a family home, like a old person home, to where you pay monthly to live there. But if you run out of money or funds, it sends you down to like the lower levels, which is just you in some like cell block room, and at some point you just freeze. So it's almost like purgatory, like or hell, I guess. But
It sounds like hell, dude.
Dude, that's
no
wild.
no one was on fire, but your consciousness is just frozen for.
But the subscription,
I'd rather be on fire than fucking.
Well, it's not.
Frozen,
It's a payment, right? It's like you paying for your mortgage. Like it's a payment to live in this nursing home, which is just a simulation that you uploaded to.
I think I think they'll use all the data collecting that they do and everything with the AI and all that. It's like they're gonna use that as a selling point of like, oh yeah, they're in the afterlife. Say hello to them in the afterlife.
That's what the movie.
It's like it's not really them though. Obviously, like,
correct. Like you can have the saucy AI that you can talk to, or your pretend girlfriend. Yeah, I could talk to Ryan later on. When Ryan goes away, I can still have a conversation with what AI would think or be able to talk like Ryan does. Yeah, that's
because they have all your record. Like, dude, if they want, like, the technology that they have is like they could just gather everything that I've ever said near my phone and like perfectly replicate what I would sound like.
Or your smart TV, Alexa.
I'm about to throw my Alexa away.
They're always listening.
Might as well keep it.
Wasn't there something that just passed or not passed, but like a policy that they're going to give out to where Alexa it's already always listening because it's waiting for the code word Alexa, but now it's going to be uploading differently to where it's now your privacy is kind of compromised. Even more like on paper, like before it was just speculative, but now it's like on paper, part of the terms and conditions that we just check mark, and it's just going to listen to everything. So,
well, same thing with your iPhones. They're waiting for you to say HEYSIRI.
I have all that stuff turned off on mine, but I don't know how.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, no facial recognition, no nothing. So
you pressed a button?
I don't even use Siri. Fuck that bitch.
I feel like you hit no on all that stuff, and someone's just looking at it like, whatever.
Maybe.
Like how would I?
Can you prove that she's not listening now, Cody?
Yeah.
Since you just hit a button that said on to off.
Have you even been there? But
Ryan, you said about the collection of data. So I just saw this was like very recently, and it's way out there, but it's 100% a fact. So the collection of data that they've been doing since whenever, listen to all your phone calls and stuff. They create a digital version of you, right? Because they collect all the data, all your purchases. That digital version is built into simulations. So like they have Jonathan Camp in Daytona. They have Cody Bogart in, yeah, where he's at. But they run these simulations. And then like you're saying, they implement each of these different events, and they run the simulation to see how the public will react. And that's how they go about go about implementing like the subliminal messaging. So they run the simulation, and then later on they bring you the movie to see if the response matches the simulation's response. So they have like data to say this is how they're gonna react, right? And then later on they've already ran these simulations so many times through AI, right? Because they can do so many like data things a second. So they just do these over and over and over again. So they already know what's going to happen because they've already simulated it with you in a virtual world. And I thought I was like, that's crazy, but somebody's doing that. I don't know who.
I want to say that from what I've heard about quantum computing is like, because you have to have that. It takes a lot of power and energy to store all that data. So that's why they're like big into quantum computing, because that's like the only thing that can actually handle all that.
Yeah.
Like to store it and then pull it up,
Have you guys?
like in a tummy manner.
I know. I know Jimmy just has poopy Wi-Fi, but uh, have you guys noticed any type of performance issues with your technology or any other like streaming or iPhone lagging or anything like that?
I just have an old iPhone.
No,
So
Like power flicker? Do you guys have any power surges or flickers more than usual?
my internet and stuff's good, and I'm very anal about that.
Yeah.
If something happens, I'll know because I'm always on my computer. But I haven't noticed
I'm
anything.
not like super up to date on everything. Like I got a few-year old laptop. I got I guess a 1 or 2 year old phone and stuff, but I keep it updated and things like that. Our Wi-Fi's good enough to do what I'm doing, but even at like work and stuff, I've just noticed that the technology's not working as fast as I want it to. And I'm usually a pretty patient guy when it comes to that. But I wonder if that power demand and everyone using AI now because they're claiming that all these
Yeah,
users are creating a lot of traffic and lag
yeah.
and just,
Oh yeah, Sam Altman, the dude from Chat GPT, he put out, "Don't say thank you
yeah.
to your Chat
Why
GPT
would you?
because it uses more computing power."
It's not a person.
Yeah, I know, but that was the thing.
You
Oh,
you
can
can
we
look at
give?
you can look at mine. Mine is more like a search query, or I just tell it what to do. So
Yeah,
maybe that's why they start hating humans because I just tell it what to do and I'm not polite. I'll be the first one they come
yeah.
after.
Can we give
are we
kudos to
built?
Ryan for the virtual background?
Yeah,
That's big time.
I noticed that
Big
earlier.
time.
Yeah,
AI,
you and your
I
Ryan.
figured I'd try it out.
you and your work van. You're just on the back of your work van.
Uh, I wonder if I can. No, I'm just in front of a white wall window. Try to spruce it up a bit.
Isn't the government
Look
building
good.
a giant microchip and AI math supercomputers in Texas, like biggest government facility known to man?
I'm sure.
I don't know why I came across that. I think it was on. I think I saw a TikTok or something.
I did see that Facebook, their data centers. Maybe it was in Texas, but the surrounding neighborhoods of the data centers are like running out of water because the data centers need so much water to like cool down. So like the locals are basically like have no water, no running water, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, got to have the data centers though.
Yeah.
Um, that was a fun tangent there because all the conspiracy theories, mostly in the realm of kind of what we talked about, is about power and control of the people, and that's usually what they are. They're using coercion or some type of method to divert us or control us. So I do feel like it's a waste of time sometimes. We're playing into what they want us to, but because if we're thinking and talking, we're not doing anything. Um, but that's what it is, I guess. Um, that's the herd mentality programmed in me. What I also was looking up was like the cyclical pattern of it because we're very predictable. Humans are very predictable, right? We're ingrained with a certain amount of instincts and reaction. And like Camp says, they're probably getting smarter and more coached up on how we react every single day now, especially that we're all interconnected. But um, where was I going with that? I had it. I was just looking at it. I was just looking at it, man.
Would you look at it?
Why'd you just look? Why'd you just look at it? Hold on. We'll have to cut this, I guess. But I don't know. I lost it. I lost it. But I just don't want to be. I don't want to be alive for the fall of this empire. I guess I don't want to be alive for the change. I guess maybe that would be pretty cool, but to witness it, be a part of that history.
We got to fight to keep it alive, dude. We all have a huge role and a big influence on the people around us, I think, and that's why you gotta take the white pill as well, man.
Yeah, Cody wouldn't be saying
Good.
that if he had a damn kid.
I
We
know,
got to keep it alive. We got to keep it alive for him, man.
but Jimmy, do they just want us to have kids to distract us and keep us under control? That's another thought. Just thoughts. I just have thoughts.
Maybe, but I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's
God says be fruitful and multiply. So
yeah.
that can't be the
Yeah,
case.
so I looked up Bible verses before the show to talk about this kind of thinking, because I know it's treading a little bit of like just trust in God and carry on, right? Do the right thing, follow my word, put your faith and hope in me. Yeah. And we're sitting here, you know, my conspiracy was a little bit more of like the what if, what have you. Camp's was technical and sound, logical. Jimmy's was technical, sound, and logical, policy driven. Brian's was more of this second coming and Antichrist, which was fun. But got to be on the lookout for that.
Oh, dude. Kind of what you're saying, and I thought this was fascinating. Just my coworker, the song by Kanye West, HH. I haven't actually listened to it.
Can you pull it up? Can you pull it up and play it?
No, I'm not gonna pull it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so if anybody wants to look it up, type in
Yeah, not
HH
familiar.
Kanye West.
Oh my
Um,
God, Camp.
Anyway, so my coworker, we're just chit chatting. He said, he started talking about it, and I was just like, I don't care personally, not at all. But I thought it was fascinating how people had such a visceral reaction to this song, right? Talking about Heil Hitler, but
That's what HH stands for?
Yeah, I was going to say it. The song,
I just looked
because
it
the
up.
song's called the song's called Heil Hitler, but that's beside the point. There's such a visceral reaction to the song, and Hitler was a horrible person. I got it, but there's hundreds, if not thousands, of songs like worshiping Satan, and nobody bats an eye. And I think that's fascinating. I think that's absolutely fascinating. Right? You have this one song by this person who's everybody has decided he's crazy, which maybe he is or isn't. That's not the point. But you have all these other songs that are literally worshiping Satan, and nobody bats an eye. And I was like, man, that's crazy. It's kind of.
I think
As he was,
it's got to be one or two things. Either they believe in worship in Satan, and that's the narrative they want to go to, so you can't talk bad about their leader and their god Satan, or you know, if you don't believe in God, you don't believe in Satan either. So they're just like, it's just a make believe thing. It doesn't really, it's silly. It's just like our worship songs, like that's just silly, whatever. Like it doesn't offend me.
I mean, that's a fair point. I just thought that was fascinating when I was like,
I mean, it's the same. I mean,
sorry, I was watching something good the other day. This isn't completely going off, but a good question for any religion is, can Hitler go to heaven?
I mean, I
Can he
think
or can he?
Can he?
if he accepts the Lord as his Savior, your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We're all sinners.
That's right.
That's my take.
No, I agree.
Yeah, it's between him and God. I don't know.
Between him and God.
Between
No,
him and
that's how
God.
I believe too. I mean, shit, I hope not, but that's not my call. So that's. I was just curious to your guys' reaction too, because I was listening to someone talk about that. I think it might have been. Oh God, it might have been Wesley talking about it. What's his last name?
yeah.
West something.
Is Huff?
Wes Huff. Yeah, Wesley Huff. And he was talking about that. And I was like, that is, because I mean, you're talking about the grace of God is bigger than any error that anyone can make. So it's just interesting to think about that so much evil. But the other part of it is intent and how that grew. Anyways, sorry.
Why do you think this might get me in trouble and it might have to be cut? But why do you think,
Dude, if CNN doesn't edit their videos, you can't edit yours.
I'm getting a new job, dude. Be careful.
you're good? Just give it to God, give it to Jesus Christ, you'll be fine. Like, why is the Jewish religion still so prevalent? Like with Christianity, like when that happened, I know it's the same thing with like Muslim and all. It's a religious question, but I mean, they were the main characters of the first half of that book. And then Jesus came and he was like, come with me to the second half of this book and finish the story with me. And a lot of them just said no. I just find that pretty crazy.
It's what Ryan said earlier about the tower. Sorry, what was the tower?
Tower of Babel.
Yeah, like they got too big for their britches, right? And God had to get rid of them.
Yeah, but I can understand. Where was the Tower of Babel located at? It wasn't in the Holy Lands, was it?
I'm not saying that it was like those two things correlated. I'm saying like the Tower of Babel they were so advanced, they got too big for their britches,
Yeah.
and God was like, you gotta go. So the same thing when like Jesus was like, come with me, they were like, nah. He's like, well, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the city of God and the city of man.
Yeah.
And it's, the city of man is the Tower of Babel, and the city of God is following Jesus and following God. So,
Yeah.
and that's the story in the whole Old Testament is, you can either be faithful to God or you can choose worldly things. And it's human nature. We each and every one of us fall over and over again. So it's like, we're at least, at least God's gracious enough to, forgive us for everything. We just have to ask for it.
All right. So follow me down this rabbit hole with this thought that I'm currently writing. And prefacing with not questioning anything. I'm not changing my mind here. I'm just thinking out loud because I want to get your guys' take on it. So feel free to tell me to shut up and open my Bible tonight. But like there were people, like the Jewish people were there, like the center of the Jewish faith was where Jesus, we believe, and has been said that Jesus was there trying to convince the Jewish people, Jew and Gentile and everyone else around, but mainly the Jewish people, the chosen people, to come with them on the next leg of God's plan and journey. But here we are today where Christianity is worldwide, to where people never seen Jesus, they didn't have any ties to that land, are now fully believing in Jesus and have followed us on that journey, and we are too, to where, what if, just like we were talking about Project Bluebeam, it wasn't Project Bluebeam back then, but they were saying you're not the real Messiah. We know that there's a Messiah coming, just like we think Jesus is coming back. And then we're either going to get the real thing or we're going to get a fake thing that's put up by the technology we have. What if they were the same skeptic? And that's probably why the Bible verse says, don't fall into conspiracy, put your faith in me, follow God. But what if the same thing happens? What if we get tricked? What if we trick ourselves and we see that and it's actually Jesus coming back, but it's really, and we're just second guessing ourselves. Or there are people, you know what I'm saying? Like they were in that same predicament. I'm just trying to relate, I guess, to them back then, of some guy going around doing miracles that we can see. Now we might not be we're going to be at the worst part, because if they had iPhones and cameras and people were videotaping Jesus in the crowd doing these miracles, it would be like us seeing those on our phones going, that's an AI generated video, right? So I'm just a little scared that the technology obviously is going to draw us away from our faith, because seeing is going to counteract with hearing about it and just being able to put our faith in it. It's much easier to believe in things when you don't see something to counteract that. And I know that's part of faith and why we stay faithful and all that stuff, and we pray about it. But I just think that it's very interesting that they were in the same predicament, especially with how it's portrayed in that Chosen show, of they're just going, this isn't, you're not the real Messiah, even though I just saw you do a miracle in person, right? That's the part that got me. Now, if they were, in Russia and they were like, Jesus, what is he doing over there? I don't even know. It took 7 months to get here. The story, it's 7 months ago, right? We're believing it 2,000 years ago. But if we saw it today, how would the population of Christians react? You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of the thought that I don't wrestle with it. It was just an interesting thought of putting myself in those shoes back then, if I'm subject to this type of skepticism, I guess. But
it's seen behind the veil, right?
Yeah.
It's the dude. So in the Matrix, I don't know if it's 1, 2, or 3, but one of the guys that always on the computer, and he's the Chief in Bad Boys, white dude.
Yeah.
In Bad Boys, he gets killed in like the last one, but he's in the Matrix, one of the Matrix movies, and he is put in the same predicament where the veil was lifted, but he wished it was never lifted, and he kind of like it's an existential thing. Now that he's seen behind the curtain, like what is really real? That's his big thing. Like, is the world inside the Matrix real, or is the real world this post apocalyptic world that we live in, and we're fighting these drones and stuff? So I get what you're saying. I see.
I'm not trying to change minds or defaith anyone or go
Yeah.
to hell or nothing, because I
Yeah.
still believe what I believe, but I just
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, you believe what you believe, and that's great, and you set your standards. But then at some point in life, you're going to get challenged with it, and now that there's just a trickiness to it. There's a potential to be duped with just like that super real life comparison of simulated life. Like I don't know, you have such a firm comparison. It's not just a do you believe in it or not. It's that just happened. You just saw it happen, or however you witnessed it. Now you have to compare it to the faith that you have, because right now we've been challenged by our hardship, and we've been challenged by our journey in life. But I don't think we've been challenged by like Jesus is right here. Here's Jesus.
That's it.
It's just the nervousness of if we're blessed to get presented with the presence of Christ in our lifetime here on earth, that how would we interact with, seeing God or seeing a godlike coercion tactic by the government? How would we react? How would the people react? So
Do you think like like you're saying he comes back, you don't know if it's real or not, but there's always a deeper connection, it seems like, with more desperate people, right? People in jail gravitate to the word of God a little more than a person who has everything. So maybe the destruction of, everything is maybe our saving grace, right? Because we won't question it in our darkest days, right?
Yeah.
If our darkest day you see Jesus Christ, you're probably going to believe it. But when you're on a high horse, life's good, you're probably less likely to believe it,
Fuck.
right?
You are.
well, that's what I'm saying. So the graceful and the patient and the loving Christ came and went already. The next Christ that's going to come is retribution. He says that he's coming back with retribution from the heavens, and there's a holy war going to be fought. So it would be on us to make sure that our fields are sowed and ready for harvest when he does come back. And I guess we're sound, faithful men, and we can lead our households that way and the people around us. Because, yeah, that would be something crazy. Because like Ryan says, I think it's very inevitable to be coerced as a people to be put back in our places by the powers that be. And hopefully God comes back to save us, kind of. So that would be whoever's trying to save us from the government coercion or that side of it, we'd have to be able to recognize. So I just think it's
I think he's, yeah. I was just gonna say, I think you just hold on to your faith, like you're saying, because the devil is smarter than all of us, right?
Yeah.
The devil was in heaven with God. He knows what we want. He knows how to get us. There's no denying that part, right? So yeah, I think like you're saying, you have to lean on your faith.
I just think it's easier to be tricked now. I think like that's all I'm trying. Like the technology aspect makes it a lot easier to be tricked and deceived. But
you'll know them by their fruits. So I mean, I think that's what you always have to.
Yeah.
The good isn't deceitful, and it's not. You can tell. Good versus evil. I think I don't know if there was like a second coming and stuff. I think there could be a lot of confusion, but like you just have to stay faithful and pray for wisdom to be able to discern like good from bad and like truth from lies.
Yeah. I'll make you guys
I always wondered because like what Ryan's saying, like, you know, we should know in our hearts when the good's coming, but also in the same token, why didn't the Jews that, you know, put Jesus on the cross, why couldn't they see it?
I guess that was kind of my question.
Why could not just the Jews or any other religion? Why couldn't they?
Yeah.
Why couldn't their hearts open up? That's a big question I have.
Yeah.
You know, were they
That's a good question, right?
But
were they
then I
rejecting God or just freaking confused as hell? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I put.
Fuck, I've never seen a motherfucker like this, like touch people and cure their blindness.
Yeah. No, and it's scary. That's what I'm saying. Like, if that happened now, there's always going to be haters. So, and there's
But
always
what's
going to be
weird is that, like, so you got the Old Testament and there are all these prophecies. I don't see how, if there's this guy showing up fulfilling all these prophecies that
correct. Yeah.
that your religion is based on, why wouldn't you?
That's what I'm saying. They had so much information to lead up to it. We have one prophecy of Jesus. Jesus is our prophet now. All the other prophets, like, there's no prophet since Jesus, right? I guess I need to ask Wes Huff that. I need to invite Wes Huff on the show. But yeah, I don't know if I can afford him.
I would imagine. I mean, because I don't know the answer. Yeah, I wish I knew the answer to that. I would imagine that because between a lot of these stories, there's a ton of time in between, and there's a lot of hardships and those kind of things. I think there's probably a lot of people same as us. Like, we feel so distant from, like, when Jesus was alive that it's like, we kind of think of it as a story in a lot of ways. So I feel like a lot of the times, even though the people, in Israel knew all the stories, it's like, to them, it was probably still the same thing, though. It just seems like stories. So I don't know.
Yeah. Shoot, what was I going to say? I was going to put myself on the other perspective of it, right? It's the pursuit of perspective again. I'll say it again because it's in the Twitter bio. But so you're on the Jewish side of it. You're on the non-believing that is Jesus Christ Jewish side of it back then, or Gentile, whoever, Roman, whatever. And you see all these people following this guy, and you're like, that doesn't seem right. What are you doing? Like, you're in that position, right? It's hard for me to do that because I'm in so much on the other side. That's how the people would, like, that's how I would view people if they saw something that I was skeptical of, like a light show in the sky. That, like what we just talked about, would be in, how are they blindly believing this? We say that all the time, though, with a lot of things. How are you blindly believing what Joe Biden says? Like, how are you blindly believing what these guys? I know they're not Jesus Christ. I'm not comparing Joe Biden to Jesus Christ. No, but although I do believe that they brought him back to life to serve out his presidency. I don't know if that counts for anything, but I think they might have artificially or swapped someone in to keep Joe Biden president. But yeah, I mean, I just putting yourself in that perspective. It happened when I was watching the show. I don't know if that's what the chosen producers were trying to make me feel, but I was putting myself in the I guess the Pharisees' point of view of, like, these people are, they're doing something crazy. So it is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and even the people that put Jesus on the cross are welcome and could get grace from God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, one of my favorite stories I just came across. I don't know how I've never heard of this guy, Saint Longinus. Have you ever heard of that guy? I don't know if I'm saying his name right. He was a Roman centurion that speared Jesus.
Oh.
And he was blind. The blood that came out of Jesus went on his eyes and cured his blindness, and he dropped to his knees and for the rest of his life preached the gospel until
he's
his
a
death.
saint. He's sainted in the Catholic Church, because I don't think that's in the Bible. I think that's a saint like a saint story. I don't think that's biblically written down, because I heard that too. Now that you mentioned it, I just don't remember the guy's name, but that I've heard that story.
Dude, I just thought about, sorry, but the guy, it's like Jesus had two criminals on the side of him. And I don't know if you guys seen the meme. It was like the one dude's like, Jesus, when you go before your father, remember me. And then it's like the meme's like he wakes up and he's in heaven. He's like, holy buzzer beater.
I've seen a lot of memes with that, dude. Those are so funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like, it's true though, dude.
Well, that was the other.
There's one. It's like Conor McGregor was like, oh yeah, I don't even know the guy. Those are so funny.
Yeah.
Is that Christian talk?
Dude, it's crazy.
I would say on the flip side, Paul was, I think, I don't know 100%, but I think he was a Roman citizen. And, he was persecuting Christians. And then he, on the, opposite end, he had a vision that Jesus came to him. And,
He's responsible for like 4 of the books, right, in the New Testament.
I think maybe even more than that.
Yeah. I guess that's where I'm happy that a lot of people are coming back to Christianity, but that's where the traditional Catholic in me and the old school, like trying to research more. And I know I joke about the Crusades all the time, but like people were driven to war because of Christianity, like religion and Christianity. I know it's still done today. Obviously, there's a holy war going on, holy territory war, you can call it. I don't think they're persecuting each other for their beliefs, just for the land, which is even worse. But, like I do think there has been superficial Christians around for a long time, which is, hey, the Bible is great. Here's this great story of Jesus loving God, and we're all worshiping and glorifying Him like we were there at the time. Right? I know there was suffering and there was tribulations through that time for the people that followed Him right off the bat, but now we're still going and practicing. I don't know there's as much preparedness teachings coming from the churches of when He comes back, we're going to war. And I know Camp's been saying he's been preparing for something that he doesn't know what it is, but I think that's the message that needs to be said more in all the churches of Christianity, is that He's coming back. Like he already did the happy Jesus miracles, but now He's coming back and He's going to fight evil. And we have to fight evil we need to fight evil with Him, right? Like when He comes back, it's not going to be like, hey, can you fix my leg? It's not going to be that when He comes back. It's going to be,
I'm gonna break that motherfucker.
We got, yeah. So
That's why I'm Team Jesus.
I'm 100% Team Jesus.
Too. I'm totally Team Jesus.
For my mom, Barbie. Shout out Barbie. I'm Team Jesus fully. Don't worry about me. Don't give me a phone call and say, hey, how's it going? Are you okay? I saw episode 6. But it's just the thoughts I've had, because everything we've been taught is that happy kind of watered down, like there's no violent in my street, right? Jesus was happy and it was all good and all this stuff, and it was good. But it
turn the other cheek.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, give me another, please. And I think it needs. I hope the people that are coming in realize that the second coming of Jesus, like the last part of that New Testament, is what we need to be prepared for. Because, like Jimmy said, they were prepared for all the prophecies. They knew all the prophecies for when Jesus was to show up, and they still missed it. Not some of them didn't, thank God, but some of them did. So I think, especially me, I need to do more preparedness of following the laws that Jesus set forth in the New Testament, but also preparing. Like it's one thing just to get up to code and get up to standard. Then you have to prepare for the future, for when He does show back up. So I think that's the most interesting new revelation, pun intended, that I've kind of had with myself, through prayer and stuff, is get back up to standards, keep the standard, but then also there's something to come. Like you're not just preparing myself for the kingdom of heaven. I'm preparing myself for the kingdom of heaven to come down here, if that happens in my lifetime. I think we kind of skip to the end of going to the kingdom of heaven, rather than realizing that the kingdom of heaven might show up first. So, it's kind of it's that fear of God. It's where that kicks in. So, I've been finding myself checking myself with that perspective more than, love thy neighbor type stuff, which is still important, but there's a step 2 to that. So, I think. And that's not coming from any teacher. And they'll probably say, "What are you doing, son of God?" Or not son of God, but what are you doing there, brother? Brother in Christ. Not son of God. Brother in Christ is the correct term I think I should be using.
Okay.
My bad. Sorry about that, big guy. But I'm his child too, according to the Bible. So, but yeah, and I appreciate you guys hashing that one out with me and not calling me stupid or a blasphemer. So, appreciate that.
We're all
Got
just trying to
anything
figure
else?
it out.
I know, and that's really all this is. So I'm pretty unashamed now. I remember Jimmy knew me. I mean, Ryan knew me back when I was unashamed too, and I was just a nerd burger back in the day, just kind of doing what I thought was best. I see myself a lot in how they portray Matthew, Jimmy, in The Chosen. I was like Matthew. I was just kind of a weird guy, smart guy, but got made fun of a lot. Got made fun of a lot for sure for it.
Have you met Thomas yet?
Yeah.
In the show?
Yeah. What about what? Yeah. Yeah. We're like season 3, man. We're deep.
Good for you, man. That's a good show.
Yeah, I recommend it. I like watching it. Rachel doesn't like watching it as much because it is kind of, after a long Tuesday, it's kind of heavy hitting sometimes to really get down into it. But I really enjoy watching it. So,
Dude, I weep like a baby.
I don't know
some
if
of those.
I don't know if I've wept yet, but I
I'm
probably
soft
will.
now. I'm charming.
I just started recently. I'm like episode 6.
It's they did a very good job, and I'm glad that it started as crowdfunding first, so it didn't come from big money. So it started from people funding it, and it's still a show for the people. So that's another good reason for it, because I would be more skeptical of it, and it would look a lot differently if it was funded by Disney, because Jesus would definitely be black if it was a Disney Chosen. Like it would be black Jesus. It would be gay and lesbian disciples.
It would be
it'd be
bad. Trans for sure, dude.
It'd be bad.
God dang it, Cody! You're freaking being a little aggressive towards the end. It's almost 11 o'clock.
It's Friday night, dude. What are you gonna do? Stay up all night and think about the words I've said? I hope you do. I hope you do. But I think we can wrap it up, guys. That was pretty fun. Unless you guys have any closing thoughts, we'll end it. We'll keep the streak alive with ending it with a Bible verse here, because I like that, and maybe it'll help me out. It'll balance out what I've said tonight. We're gonna go with Hold on. We're gonna go with Isaiah 8:12-13, because it was one of the couple of verses that I asked about. I was looking around for don't think like we just thought for 2 hours on the podcast. But do not call conspiracy everything this people calls a conspiracy. Do not fear what they fear. Do not dread it. The Lord Almighty is the one you are to regard as holy. And it kind of warns against paranoia and false conspiracies. So that's good.
Amen.
Amen, brother. So that forgives us all for the 2 hours that we just did. Thanks for tuning in for episode 6. Hopefully you make it to the end of these. I can see it on Spotify. So get to the end, like it, share it if you want, make fun of me in the comments, leave a comment of any questions or things you want us to discuss. I've seen a couple of you guys. I've been getting followers from a couple of you guys. Not Ryan, because he did not on Instagram, but the reels.
I'm making a fake Insta.
Yeah, that's fine. Finsta. Do it like do one of my parody Stogies with Bogey parody account, and then just
There you go.
Wow, dude. That's a great idea, dude.
That's good.
All right. Hey, release the full video except the last 20 seconds.
I'll hold that. That'll be my my blackmail for you. Call them out.
Start a fan page, yeah.
Stogies with Bogey. You might get more followers than my actual account, which would be fun.
Yeah.
But no, appreciate you guys as always. This is always fun. And we'll just keep on keeping on. We got 14 more to go to hit the 20 mark. So, I mean, I'm available. I'm available Sunday night if you guys wanted to go back to back quickly, but we'll see. I'm trying to get a couple more. So obviously put your ears to the ground. If you got other guys that want to join or ladies that want to join, I'm open to everyone. No one in between, just guys or girls. And then,
leave a comment. Comment your most wanted guest.
Yeah, your most wanted guest. That is affordable. I can't pay them yet, so
I'm trying to see Austin Bogart on here.
I'm trying to get a couple people. I got 4 chairs out here in my backyard, man.
Where are the Bogart brothers, dude?
All you guys had to do is drive a little bit.
Dude, you
Dude,
need
I
to
thought about texting
schedule
you
a day.
to come over.
Yes, schedule a
next
day for us all to come over.
Yeah.
Dude, schedule it, dude.
Yeah,
Schedule, dude.
Another
Fuck you. Schedule
the
it.
next Friday one. The next Friday one. Or Saturday,
it'll
whatever.
have to be a weekend for sure, but yeah, we need to do it. So,
I need at least 2 weeks planning.
I mean,
Possibly a month.
I'll call the shop and tell them I have a busted pipe. Get you down here.
Yeah, perfect. Get you on the books.
You'll leave with some cash. What is it? 2 hours? What's your hourly rate?
I think that'll be at least a tax write-off.
Yeah, for sure.
Travel charge.
Bring another GoPro for me so that way he can just write off his taxes, but I need another one. But yeah, I'm having fun. Got to get the other episodes 4 or 5 and now 6 up, and we'll be rolling, boys. So spread the word. I'm going to be a little bit more proactive on the marketing, just like Big Green Energy is and Big Crypto. We'll have Big Stogies with Bogey. Finally got the smoke in the system, which is good. I'll be able to tell the doctor. Got another cigar down. But other than that, like I said, great to be outside. Got my I got the red hue, not because I'm a Trump supporter, but because I got the candles out, protecting me out here. But yeah, we'll get you boys out, or I'll come to you. I'm ready to travel. I'm trying to get it set up to where I can just grab and go. I'll travel the world and interview people. So, but yeah, signing off. Godspeed. Say your prayers and love your neighbor.
See you guys later.
Have a good night, boys.
This episodes of Stogies with Bogies were brought to you by me. I'm fully self-funded at this point. So, get what you pay for.